The cold hum of the research station filled the silence of my quarters. The only company I had for months, Xiron 9, a distant exoplanet with an atmosphere rich in unknown elements, had become my home. I spent my days analyzing energy, pulses, charting patterns, and wondering if I was truly alone in the universe. That night, something changed. An alarm blared through the station, jolting me out of my half-asleep state. My heart pounded as red warning lights pulsed across my console. Unidentified entity detected. I grabbed my scanner and rushed toward the source of the disturbance, my mind racing with possibilities: a malfunction, a meteorite breach, or something else entirely. As the station doors hissed open, my breath caught in my throat. She was lying on my bed, a being unlike anything I had ever seen before. Her body, sleek and shimmering, radiated a faint bioluminescence. Her skin, a deep cerulean blue, pulsed softly with patterns of violet light. Long flowing strands of hair cascaded over the pillow, shifting in color like rippling waves. She was humanoid, yet adorned with crystalline ridges along her collarbones and arms, as if the universe itself had sculpted her. She gasped, eyelids fluttering open to reveal irises that swirled like distant galaxies. Her gaze locked onto mine, burning with an intensity that sent an unfamiliar heat through my chest. I swallowed hard. "Who are you?" Her lips parted slightly, her breath shaky. Zephyr," she murmured, her voice a melody that sent shivers through me. She shuddered, her body arching slightly as if struggling against something unseen. I tightened my grip on the scanner, watching the red-out flash erratically. Elevated vitals, rapid pulse, rising body temperature. "Are you injured?" I asked, stepping closer. She shook her head, her glowing fingers curling into the sheets. "No, it is my cycle." I echoed, confused. Her cheeks flushed a deeper shade of violet, and she exhaled shakily. "My mating cycle." The words hit me like a shockwave. My mind struggled to process them, but my body reacted, instinctively drawn to the warmth of her presence. Her gaze was pleading, filled with an emotion that transcended language. "And you," she whispered, "are the one I have chosen." I stood frozen, the weight of her words sinking into me like a slow-burning fire. Her mating cycle. She had chosen me. Zeph's body trembled, her glowing skin pulsing in waves of violet and deep blue. Every breath she took was shaky, as if she were fighting against something overwhelming. I had seen strange phenomena during my time on ZR9, but nothing like this. "I don't understand," I admitted, my voice low. "Why me?" Her glowing fingers reached out, brushing against my wrist. The moment our skin touched, a jolt of sensation rushed through me. Warmth, electricity, something deeper than physical contact. My breath hitched. It wasn't just a simple touch, it was an energy, an unspoken connection. Zephyr sighed, her body reacting to even that small contact. "My kind, we do not choose at random. We bond through more than sight or instinct. It is our energy, our souls." She shifted, her body arching slightly, a soft gasp escaping her lips. "And yours calls to mine." Her voice was thick with longing, but beneath it I sensed something more, an ache, a desperation. The glowing markings on her body flickered, dimming for a moment before reigniting. Whatever was happening to her was not just an urge, it was a northeast necessity. She needed me. I took a slow step closer, my mind torn between caution and an overwhelming pull toward her. "What happens if you don't complete the cycle?" She hesitated, her lips trembling. "I will burn from the inside," she whispered. "The energy will consume me." A sharp pang twisted in my chest. I had come to this planet for science, for exploration, never expecting to be thrown into something so personal, so raw. But the fear in her voice, the way her body trembled with need, stirred something inside me. Something primal, protective. I exhaled, my pulse hammering. "How do I help you?" Zephyr's glowing eyes locked onto mine, searching, hoping. "You already are," she whispered. She reached for my hand and placed it against her chest. A wave of warmth surged through me And suddenly I felt her heartbeat, her longing, her need intertwining with mine. It wasn't just attraction, it was something far more profound. Our connection deepened in an instant. My thoughts became hers, and hers mine. I saw flickering images, her home world bathed in twin moonlight, vast oceans of violet. Stretching under a sky filled with luminous stars, I felt what she felt, the rising heat, the aching tension, the desperate hunger for release. I shuddered, overwhelmed. Zephyr, she gasped, gripping my hand tighter. Please, she whispered, let me show you. And before I could speak, she pulled me deeper into her world. The moment Zephyr pulled me deeper into her world, everything changed. A pulse of warmth surged through me, igniting every nerve in my body. The research station around us faded, replaced by a sensation beyond sight or sound, a connection of pure energy. I gasped as I felt her, not just physically, but in a way that defied human understanding. Her fingers laced through mine, her bioluminescent skin glowing brighter with every breath. Our bond has begun, she whispered, pressing her forehead to mine. A static charge crackled in the air, sending shivers down my spine. What does that mean? I managed to ask, my voice unsteady. Zeph's hands traced along my arms, and where she touched, warmth spread beneath my skin. It means your energy is merging with mine. You are becoming part of me. Her voice was thick with something primal, something instinctual, and I could feel it, the pull, the need, the raw intensity of her desire. She let out a shaky breath as my hands moved on their own, following the silent guidance of our bond. I traced the shimmering lines along her body, feeling the pulse of life beneath my fingertips. Each touch sent ripples of pleasure through both of us, a sensation that was more than physical. It was spiritual, cosmic, infinite. Zephyr arched against me, her crystalline ridges glowing with intensity. Yes, just like that. I could feel her heartbeat through our bond, erratic and desperate, matching the rapid pounding of my own. My body responded instinctively, as if the connection itself dictated our movements. There was no hesitation, no uncertainty, just the overwhelming need to be closer. She wrapped her arms around my shoulders, her breath hot against my skin. Let it consume you, she murmured. And then she brought our lips together. The moment we connected, an explosion of energy erupted between us. It was like diving into the heart of a star. Heat surged through me, racing through my veins like liquid fire. My senses blurred, lost in the overwhelming pleasure of the bond. The glowing patterns on Zeph's body pulsed in rhythm with mine, her soft moans blended with my ragged breaths. It was a ritual unlike anything human, a merging of bodies, minds, and souls. We moved together, perfectly synchronized, every touch sending shock waves of sensation through us. Her fingers clutched at me, nails digging into my skin as our energy entwined. It was primal, desperate, yet beautiful, a dance of cosmic intimacy. The tension built between us, rising higher and higher until the energy became too much to contain. Zeph's eyes met mine, wide and pleading. Now, she whispered, and then release. A final pulse of energy exploded between us, sending shimmering waves of light cascading across the room. For a moment, everything stopped, the world, time, reality itself. We were weightless, suspended in pure bliss. Zephyr cried out, her body trembling against mine as the last waves of energy pulsed through us. I held her close, feeling the rapid rise and fall of her chest, the lingering warmth of our bond. Then silence. She collapsed against me, breathless, her body still glowing. Faintly, I felt different, as if part of me had changed, as if I would never be the same again. It is done, Zephyr murmured against my skin, her voice laced with exhaustion and satisfaction. I ran my fingers through her silken hair, my heart still hammering. What happens now? She looked up at me, her galaxy-filled eyes shining with something deeper than desire. Now, she whispered, we are bound forever. The energy between us had settled into something warm, something permanent. Zeph's body still pulsed faintly with light, but the frantic, desperate edge was gone. Instead, she lay curled against me, her breathing slow, her fingers tracing lazy patterns along my skin. I felt different, not just physically, but deep inside my body, hummed with a strange warmth, a lingering echo of what we had just shared. I was no longer just me. Something of Zephyra had merged with me, and something of me had become part of her. She sighed, pressing closer as if afraid I might disappear. It has been completed, she whispered. The bond is sealed. I swallowed, my mind still struggling to process everything. What does that mean? Her glowing fingers trailed to my chest, resting over my heartbeat. It means I will always feel you, she murmured. No matter how far you go, no matter what happens, you are part of me now. Her words sent a shiver through me. I had come to this planet for research, expecting to catalog atmospheric anomalies and alien plant life, not to become bound to an extraterrestrial in the most intimate way imaginable. I ran a hand through my hair, exhaling slowly. And if I leave? Zeph's body tensed slightly, but her voice remained calm. Then I will still feel you, and you will feel me even across the void of space. The weight of it settled over me. This wasn't something temporary. This wasn't something I could walk away from and forget. The bond was real, permanent, and the strangest part, I didn't want to leave. I had spent years traveling across distant worlds, gathering data, chasing knowledge. But for the first time in my life, I felt anchored, as if I had finally found something or someone worth staying for. Zephyra shifted, lifting herself slightly to meet my gaze. Her galaxy-filled eyes searched mine, uncertain, vulnerable. Will you stay? I hesitated, not because I didn't know the answer, but because I already did. Before I could speak, the station alarms blared again, louder this time, urgent. The red lights flashed across the walls, and a robotic voice echoed through the comms. Approaching vessel detected. Incoming life forms not human. Zeph's body stiffened, her glow flickered. I sat up quickly, adrenaline kicking in. Who is it? She swallowed hard, gripping my hand. Her voice was barely above a whisper. My people. A chill ran down my spine, and they were coming for her.